Hey, your mom wants to come along on our honeymoon. Oh, really? I'll leave it up to you then, Madison. Excuse me? We finally managed to plan our honeymoon amid all the chaos, and now my mother-in-law wants to tag along, and my husband is just dumping the whole situation on me? So you're really okay with me handling this? Yeah, whether she comes along or not, do as you see fit. Well, if that's how he wants to play it, I have my own ideas too. Let's see, I'll make sure we have the best honeymoon ever. My name is Madison, and I'm 29 years old. Half a year ago, I married a man who works at the same company as me. He's 8 years my senior. His name is Zach. He's quite popular within our company. He's good-looking, tall, and slim. He's also proficient at his work and is highly trusted by his juniors and superiors. During his single days, he was popular among female colleagues, and I was one of them who admired him. Somehow, I managed to beat out the stiff competition, and we eventually got married. However, since we got married, I feel like I've been constantly let down by him. Madison, could you iron this? But I'm cleaning right now. Yeah, so once you're done, please do it before I leave the house. He's completely useless when it comes to cooking and laundry. Despite both of us working, all the household chores fall onto me. Apparently, he used to rely on his mother for everything apart from work, and even his outfits, which I always thought were stylish, were all coordinated by his mom. Because of his carelessness and indecisive nature, there were problems when we were getting married. Around 3 years into our relationship, I grew tired of his reluctance to bring up marriage, so I casually broached the subject. Hey Zach, have you thought about marriage? Then he made a troubled expression and groaned, I guess it's about time. My mom also said, shouldn't you settle down and let her get married? Your mother said? I was genuinely surprised. Can't he do anything without his mother's advice? There were times when I seriously wondered if it would be better to break up with such a man. But seeing his gentle side and how he worked at the company, I just couldn't come to dislike him. My mother-in-law is not a bad person. To put it nicely, she's friendly. To put it badly, she lacks delicacy. She tends to impose her preferences and wishes onto others. I didn't hate my mother-in-law, but there were parts of her I struggled with. My husband doesn't defend me when his mother says something. He doesn't really listen. The lazy and indecisive Zach didn't cooperate much with the preparations for the wedding, leaving everything to me. I think it would be nice to decorate this place with these flowers. What do you think? Isn't it fine? I'm okay with anything. Madison, you decide. Hey, this is our wedding, right? Let's think about it together. Zach lazily muttered, really, anything's fine. It wasn't just the ceremony. Even planning our honeymoon was the same. It all started with Zach's statement, I don't like tours. It's our honeymoon. I want to go on a trip where we can freely go to places we want to visit. But it's both of our first times abroad, right? I think it would be more reassuring to go on a tour. On a tour, the places to visit are predetermined, and we have to stick to the schedule. There are tours that allow free activities, right? And if we consider things like an interpreter, anyway, I won't go on a honeymoon if it's a tour. Please come up with a plan that I can agree with. And with that, he left everything to me. Between the wedding ceremony arrangements and honeymoon plans, managing all of this alone in between work is simply impossible. Eventually, we decided to go on our honeymoon a few months later on our first wedding anniversary. The destination? The long-desired 10-day trip to Hawaii. As I researched various tourist spots, my anticipation for the trip slowly grew. This was the only time my husband enthusiastically voiced his request, saying things like, I want to go here, and I want to eat this. One day, with the honeymoon only 2 months away, a problem arose. Madison, you're going to Hawaii for your honeymoon, right? My mother-in-law suddenly called to ask, to which I responded, yes. We've been talking about wanting to go to Hawaii for a long time. Our dream is finally coming true. What a coincidence. I've wanted to go to Hawaii since forever. I thought it would be a great opportunity, so I want to go with you. That's okay, right? You mean you want to come too? Caught off guard by her unexpected proposition, I was taken aback. Ignoring my obvious reluctance, my mother-in-law continued over the phone. I had traveled with Zach for quite a while. I thought it would be a great opportunity. But this is our honeymoon. I know, darling. I'm not thinking of staying in the same room as the newlyweds, so don't worry. Well, that's true, but usually parents don't accompany their children on honeymoons. It's okay. We're just going to tour the sites together. Or are you saying you'd be annoyed if I were there? No, that's not what I meant. Then it's decided. Let Zach know too. She made a unilateral decision and the call ended. No matter how you look at it, having your mother-in-law accompany you on your honeymoon is unthinkable. Surely even Zach would object to this. If her son objects, my mother-in-law will surely give up. That night, I immediately discussed the matter with my husband. Hey, your mother called me today. Huh? From Mom? Looking surprised, my husband responded, What did Mom say? She said she wants to come to our honeymoon. Is that so? I'll leave it up to you, Madison. Excuse me? Wait a minute, what is he saying? Leave it up to me? This can't be a joke. Sensing danger, I confronted my husband. Don't say irresponsible things like leaving it up to me. I've never heard of a mother-in-law accompanying her son and daughter-in-law on their honeymoon. Well, Mom's always loved traveling. That's not the point. This is our honeymoon, our first trip as a married couple. Yeah, that's why I'm leaving it up to you, Madison. What do you mean, leave it up to me? She's your mother, isn't she? With a hint of anger in my voice, I retorted and my husband reluctantly opened his mouth. But Madison, you're the one arranging the trip, right? What? You're the one arranging our accommodation and all the expenses, right? I don't know much about it, so I thought it would be best to leave it to you. Wait a minute. Don't you have anything to say about your mother coming along on a trip? Nah, I don't really care either way. That's why I'm saying I'll leave it to you. His irresponsibility and indecisiveness irritated me. I could feel the blood rising to my head and I couldn't help but yell at him. Stop messing around. This trip to Hawaii is also our first anniversary trip. It's obviously strange to have a parent accompany us, don't you think? Then Madison, you should just tell my mother no. Why do I have to? You're the one who should tell her, Zach. Me? I don't want to make things awkward with my mom. What? Even though his mother is trying to tag along on our honeymoon, he kept insisting on leaving everything to me. He doesn't feel that this honeymoon trip has any special meaning. Yes, if he's so inclined, I have my own ideas too. I will make sure he regrets leaving everything to me. I took a deep breath and with a low voice I said to my husband, So you're really going to leave it all to me? Yeah, that's what I've been saying. Are you sure you won't complain about what I decide later on? Whether you let my mom come along or not, just handle it properly. Okay, I got it. Don't forget your words. Once I got back to my room, I immediately changed our travel reservations. Looking forward to it, I made the plan just as you said. I'll arrange the best honeymoon trip for you. And on the day of the trip, we called a taxi and got in together. On the way, we picked up my mother-in-law and headed straight for the airport. During the ride, my husband and mother-in-law were happily chatting about the trip, not knowing about all the trouble I've gone through. When we arrived at the airport, I handed my husband a bag before checking in. Here, this bag contains our plane tickets and passports. Then my husband looked dissatisfied, looked at me, and grumbled, I have to carry this? Yes, we're about to go on a trip, right? It's important, so don't lose it. Why don't you carry it, Madison? It's no use if I carry it. After all, I'm not going. Huh? Not going? What do you mean? I began explaining to my increasingly agitated husband. Going to Hawaii with 3 people would blow our budget. That's why I decided to have your mother go in my place. What, are you kidding me? It's our honeymoon. Oh, is there a problem? You were the one who said to leave everything on me, weren't you? Yes, but you're telling me to go on a 10-day trip alone with my mother. Well, yes, after all, it was you who said, I don't care either way. You never said you wanted to go on a honeymoon with just the 2 of us. You didn't say you didn't want your mother to come. You said, I'll leave everything to Madison and I won't complain. Is there a problem? You're not going to tell me you wanted to go on a honeymoon with just me. I mean, you wouldn't say something so silly, would you? Provoking him in this way, my husband bit his lip and hung his head. My mother chimed in as if to soothe him. Since Madison says so, let's just go on the trip as parent and child. Mom! Oh, I want to go to Diamond Head, and after that, maybe I'll buy an Aloha shirt at the Ala Moana Center. Stop it, Mom. Ignoring my flustered husband, his mother happily spread out a guidebook. Looking at this, people in the airport laughed quietly. Ew, they're going to Hawaii with his mother, even though it's their honeymoon. Super funny. At the voices around us, my husband turned red up to his ears. I sent a full-faced smile to my husband and his mother and waved my hand saying, Come on, it's almost boarding time, hurry up. Madison, wait. Enjoy your trip to Hawaii, you two. Bye-bye. I could hear my husband's desperate cries, but I left the airport without looking back. The next day, as I arrived at work as usual, my superiors and colleagues widened their eyes. One of my friendly superiors asked hesitantly, Hey, weren't you supposed to be on vacation for your honeymoon today? Oh, if you're talking about the trip, my husband and mother-in-law are going together. They're probably enjoying themselves in Hawaii right now, aren't they? Wait, he went on a trip with his mother, leaving his wife behind? That's right. He didn't object to his mother coming along, and he just dumped everything on me and said to handle it, so I arranged a parent-child trip for them. At my explanation, my coworkers burst out laughing. Well, of course. At the office, he was seen as a capable businessman, and they had thought his private life was going well too, but here he was going on a honeymoon with his mother. Hey, I didn't know he was such a mama's boy. I couldn't stand going on a trip alone with my mother for 10 days. I definitely couldn't do it. I couldn't do it even for 2 days. Wow, what a good guy, thinking of his mother like that. The male colleagues jokingly labeled the husband as a mama's boy and laughed till their stomachs hurt. On the other hand, all the female employees were uniformly furious. I can't believe he prioritizes his mother over his wife. The moment he allowed his mother-in-law to accompany them on their honeymoon, it was unbelievable. Normally that's creepy, right? It's a total turnoff. Thus, the image of him as a tall, handsome, capable man was completely destroyed. Unbeknownst to my husband, he had lost his place at work. Then, daily persistent emails were sent from my husband in Hawaii. My mother is having a blast all by herself. Do you know how hard it is for me? My trip is miserable because of you, damn it. Given his first overseas trip and his self-centered mother-in-law, my husband seemed to be quite distressed. Complaining like a professional after making others do everything, that's just too much. From my point of view, he got what he deserved. Even funnier, my husband, desperate to maintain his perfect image, kept posting as if he was having a fulfilled journey on social media, unaware that I was still going to work as usual. That became an excellent source of laughter for the colleagues who knew the truth. Are you enjoying your honeymoon with your mother? Can't wait for the souvenirs from your journey with your beloved mom. Someone from the office commented on his social media, and even I laughed a lot. After that comment, my husband stopped posting altogether. After returning from the trip, my husband didn't show up to work and eventually submitted his voluntary resignation. I learned the fact from his boss at work. As for me, I had already moved back to my parents' house during their trip. Now I'm consulting with a lawyer to proceed with divorce. My husband seems unwilling to agree to divorce, and he complained a lot over the phone.
Are you insane to divorce over this? Withdraw it!
This? I retaliated without losing. Whose fault is this? Isn't it bad because you left everything to me?
So why does it lead to divorce? You're overreacting, saying whatever you like at the office.
I only spoke the truth, and didn't you realize from the reactions of the people at the office? It's weird for a mother to accompany on a honeymoon. Can't you see that? Can you stop shifting blame? I'm sick of being messed around by you. Why don't you let your beloved mommy decide everything from now on?
Well, wait a minute, Madison.
Without listening to the end, I blocked his contact. It seems to take some time for the divorce to finalize, but I no longer have any feelings for him. No matter how long it takes, I intend to get a divorce. If I ever get a chance to meet someone again, I hope to be with someone who can respect each other's opinions.